Now we will see how we can read the array elements in JSON. In this sample JSON, companies worked is an array. This contains multiple objects. We will see how we can read the values of these fields. This is the sample JSON. This contains the array element, that is companies worked. This contains multiple objects. Currently it is having 2 objects. Company and durations are the fields under this object. Now let's fetch the details about the duration worked for these companies. For that we'll write a JavaScript code. Let me write one code now. I'll go to this folder. I'll create one file here. I'll define one variable Java object 1. I'm assigning complete JSON to this object. Put semicolon, the statement ending after this semicolon. Next, what we'll do here, we need to fetch the details of this companies worked. Under that we'll fetch the details about this duration. So let's do that now. I will define one more variable, that is duration. Suppose TCS company. For that I have to use this object. Under this object, this is the field companies worked, and this is the array. This array is 1 here. It starts with 0. This is the first array. 0, then 1, then dot this one duration. You have to get it, semicolon. Now we will display this value, that is console.log. Here this one is duration in company. Here is a string, then we have to put this value duration TCS, comma this. Now we will run this JavaScript code. It should display this value, duration of this TCS. See, this is companies worked. If you minimize this, this is in the at this path Java object. This is the main object dot companies worked. Under that duration. This is the array, the second element in the array. Now I'll save this file as JSON, as a JavaScript JS, that is the extension. Here read array element 1.js. Save this. Now this file got saved here. Now let's open the command prompt. Path is JS examples. Now I'll run this directory. If I open, this is the file. Now I'll run this. Enter. Unexpected string. There is some syntax error in the code. Go back to the code. Here company, Java object 1, here company. Here there is some mismatch happened here. Now I'll delete this and paste the message again. Then enter the semicolon. Now let's save it again. I'm running the program again. Now we can see duration in company 2005 to 2010. Here it is this one 2005 to 2010 TCS. Now IBM means you have to give 0 array index as 0. If I go to this program and array index, if I change it to 0, it will give IBM duration 2000 to 2005. Now I'll save this, run it again, it will give 2000 to 2005. This way we can fetch the details from the JSON and display like this. But here we are directly hard coding the XML here. Instead of this, we can pass this JSON in the request and JavaScript read that request, and after that it will fetch the array elements and display. We'll do that now. So here we have the sample code where it fetches the request body and sends the response here. We will modify this code and use it for this exercise. What we'll do, the same message we are passing as a request, but in this case we are directly copying it here in the code itself, whole request. We will not do that, but we will read it. Here already the HTTP built-in module taken here as an instance. After that, creating a server, then defining the variable request body. Here we are putting all the request coming. So here using this method request.on, it fetches the messages part by part in a chunks, then put it in the request body. Then all the request details, suppose if we pass the request from Postman, it will come here request body. So here we are just printing this request body in the console in the server. Then we are responding back with the request body only. Now we will change this. So what we will do here, we will create a Java object like this. We created Java object 1. I copy this here. Let Java object 1. We are getting the value from request body. I am here, but it will not work here because this is the JSON string. When we hit from the any client the request, it will come as a JSON string. Now we have to convert it to JavaScript object. For that we have to use this method JSON.parse. JSON.parse this, then it will convert it to JavaScript object. Then we can read the elements from the message. Like these elements we can read properly, else we can't read those. Now once it's done, we will use this statement to fetch the array element value. This is the Java object 1. We get it from the request. From that we are companies worked 0, then duration we are fetching, and duration TCS, or I will just put duration company. It can be any company. Now when you send a response back, this is the content type application/JSON, and response we will send it as duration worked. Here we'll send duration company request body, whatever value you are getting here, it will be sent to the client. Here also you can JSON.stringify. Here we are converting it to JSON string while sending the response. Here when we get the response, it is in the JSON string, we are converting to JavaScript object while reading. While sending it back, again we are converting to JSON string. Then it's listening on 4545. Then here server1.listen port. Server is listening on port. So it displays this. So when you hit this server, then it should read the request, then fetch the array index where the 0 array index and get the details, and that will be responded back. Now I'll copy this code and create a new JS file here. Here, read array element 2.js. Save. Now let's go here and directory check. This is the one we created now. Now let's run this file. Node read array element2.js. It is listening on port 4545. Now we will pass the request from Postman. You can use any other client. In this we can't use browser because there is a post, because body is present in this request. I'll create a new request. Here post now HTTP localhost, then port 4545. Now body, in the body you'll put this message. This is the input message. This is the array. From this message it will fetches and fetches the this value, because we put array index as 0. This is the 0 index. Now let's send the request. Now you can see the result is received, that is info duration worked. This is request body 2005. The server also, this is displayed message request body received, that is in the code. Request body received is a request body, then it sends the response back. Now if I change it to 1, it will give the TCS duration, this one. Now I'll end this and run it again. Now it's giving 2005 to 2010, this one. In this lecture, we have learned how we can access the array elements using JavaScript code.